On time, on time.
Yeah, we'll show you all the fantastic things that happen on the set. So today we have a
fast lane kind of interview.
Yeah,
this is
super fast. It's quick.
Yes. Let's just yes. Rob, please join us.
Rob, please come in.
Yay! Hey, Rob. Yes, brought my gear. Okay, Rob brought my gear. Yes.
That steering wheel. Okay.
Yes. Hi, Rob. Hi. How you doing?
Okay, so you're the CEO of Fastlane Motorsports. So people who are just hearing about this, what does that entail?
Well, Fastlane Motorsports is a motorsports promotion and organizing company. Basically, what we do is we engage in motorsport, local motorsport events, car racing, actual car racing, bike racing, drifting events in Nigeria.
Drifting in Nigeria.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
the drivers who can drift.
Yeah. So
how many tires do you need?
Oh wow! As much tires as possible. My house is full of tires.
Oh wow!
Are you serious?
And steering wheels I can see as
well.
This
is a removable steering wheel.
In my car, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, sure. We also do vehicle modifications. So.
Wow! So you're also the organizer of Road X and the BT competitions.
Yes, that's it's done. Fastlane is racing in the Road X and the BT competitions.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. Nigerians even know that we have road car racing competitions.
Yeah, there's a car racing competition going on and super bike racing competition going on also.
Wow.
At a private racetrack. The racetrack is in Edo State.
So everything here is it kept low key, or are you looking for a larger audience?
We're looking for a larger audience, obviously.
Okay, but it's not mainstream though. Not yet.
It's mainstream, but you know, we just really probably don't have enough resources
yet.
Publicize it.
Not yet. Until you get your first female driver.
Well, we're looking for. Fastlane is looking for a female driver anyway.
This is in Lagos recently.
Yeah.
Was that you?
That's actually a motorsport event. It was done by BMW Club of Nigeria, which I'm a member of. I'm actually the motorsport director.
Okay.
BMW Club of Nigeria, we had the Bima Fest, like a festival of BMWs.
Wow.
So we had the opportunity to, in partnership with Lagos State Sports Commission and other sponsors, close down Akin Adeshola on a Sunday and organize drag races between, cars of different categories, supercars, performance cars, BMWs, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and all of that.
How fast do those cars go? Do they pass 200?
Yeah, they can if the road is there. Almost any car can go above 200 with the proper, adjustments. But you need to observe speed limits. That's part of the things we promote. If you really want to drive fast or hard, you have to go to a racetrack. That's why.
So when you say supercar racing, you said you do some supercar racing in Edo State on a private track.
Yeah, what we do in Edo State is called Road X.
Road X.
Yeah, it's a car racing competition using the 1988 BMWs.
1988.
Yeah, so the cars are pretty old because if you want to use newer cars, a lot of expenses, and we're trying to keep the competition as affordable as
possible.
So if you have less than 500,000 naira, you get a BMW, the Benz 190 or the BMW E30, you modify it into a race car, and you're free to come and race as long as you show you have necessary racing knowledge.
How long has this been going on?
We've had the championship series for the whole of this year. We've had 4 races already.
Wow.
We have the championship finale in November 24th at the racetrack in Edo State. It's called Motorsport Raceway. It's going to be major because.
How long have you been doing this? You particularly?
I've been involved
in cars, motorsports.
I've been involved in cars literally all my life, but I've been involved in actual motorsport for about 4 years. Before the racetrack was built, when it was still just sandy ground, we used to go there to Motorsport Raceway, do dirt races. We used to win some money every month, and then before the tarmac was laid on the track, 2.3 kilometers.
Thank God you went to money. Yeah. What's the money?
Yeah.
Is there money to be made? What's it looking like?
In the Road X series currently, at the end of the championship, which is going to be, because each race is point scoring, so at the end of the championship, we have 5 races this season. At the end of the championship, the teams with the largest number of points win 500, 300, and 200,000 naira. But that was just at the beginning. So over time, some major companies, have come to us and say they want to be part of us. So they give us a lot of goodies
attached to the winners.
Yeah, so at the end of the year, so there's even an agricultural agricultural company that wants to give us chickens, you know.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you can't
Please
take...
join in on the conversation at Silverbird TV with the hashtag today on STV.
Yeah.
This is extremely
I'm so I know I asked you behind the scenes. Are there women racers in Nigeria?
Yes, there's
Female.
in the superbike category, which is very, very surprising. There are about 4 ladies racing.
Okay.
Okay.
We had a showcase race in November last year. You know, that's not the seasonal race, you know, it's just like a showcase race.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's the Bikers Trophy, which is the super bike racing. You know, you have 1000cc and 600cc classes of racing.
1000cc.
Yeah, so those are really fast bikes,
Yeah.
deafening sounds. And you have about 4 ladies in the bike races. You know, there's Fly Girls, some ladies come from Ghana, you know, I think 2 of them. There's Dot09, they have their fan base on Instagram and all that. You can check them
Amazing.
What's yours? How do we reach you on social media?
you can check my website, fastlanemotorsports.ng, motorsports plural. And my Instagram is also fastlanemotorsports.ng.
So how do you pick your riders? I want to be a rider. I'm sure you thought I was joking.
No,
I'm actually
I didn't think you were joking. I'm actually serious about looking for female.
I'm
driver.
Something is happening right here. This just went. Can you guys shake on it?
This is going down on live TV. Yeah. I am joining Motorsports as their first driver.
They have female
yes,
riders.
but I'm going to be
sealed.
I'm
I
going
already know how to drive a manual car.
I know how to drive a manual car. I'm
Little
great
bit
with a
of
manual
training,
car. Yes.
We're also doing drifting training.
Let's do it. We're doing this. Let's do it.
So
I've
you
always
can
wanted
come,
to drift a car.
yeah, you can come there. You just come with your fuel, and we'll provide you tires. We have spaces in Lagos. We're working with partners, and you know, you drift. You learn to drift.
So what do you think is the next stage for this? Is it going to be all over Nigeria? Is it going to be all over Africa?
Yeah, you know, the motorsports
the vision?
Okay, wait, before we go into that, because we still have a few more, let's take a quick break. Take a quick break, and then we're going to ask you just a bit more questions in segment. All right? Don't go anywhere. There's still so much to hear. We'll be right back.
Stay informed every minute of every day with Silverbird TV Online. Get breaking news, entertainment and sports stories as it happens at your fingertips. Access the Silverbird homepage on the go with our mobile app. Plus, you can watch all the coolest videos on your YouTube channel. Find out what's trending on Silverbird TV. Subscribe, follow, and like. Silverbird TV on all our social media platforms. Silverbird Television, it's about entertainment.
Welcome back. We're still live on Today on STV. Make sure you join the conversation on Silverbird TV. That's on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Hashtag Today on STV. We're still talking to Rob. Yes, I'm going to call him Rob. You're not my Oga. Humphrey, you're in the studio, and I know that you're going to be talking to Sam Travel. Yeah. And there is a huge connection between tourism and this kind of sports.
Definitely.
F1, for instance, it brings in so much money for Abu Dhabi, for the cities that have huge circuits around the world. So, I mean, I know she was excited. She was like, have to be. But I don't care. Okay.
Yeah, but before the break, we were talking about the vision of Fastlane Motorsports. How far do you see this going internationally? Exporting it to Europe, or what type of situation?
Okay. You see, the motorsport blog is something just catching on to the Nigerian populace. There's a lot of motorsports events going on everywhere. You know, there's drifting going on in Abuja, major drifting. There's major car racing going on in Edo State. There's major drag racing going on in Lagos State. So a lot of people are coming up as much as they can, and we want, these are the enthusiasts we want. We don't really want showboaters and posers. Want people that are in it for the passion of it.
Well, posers are also good.
Okay.
We can
help
say
them.
Okay, since you said that, okay, let
me
just come in here. So have you heard of the motorsport event Revs and Runway?
Yeah, definitely.
You have. So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I know Revs and Runway. I know the organizers.
You know the organizers?
Yeah, sure.
Really?
We're actually.
You don't know the space? Check again.
Not really sure.
Not really sure.
Yeah,
It's fine. It's okay. So that's why I was really excited about being here because
I'm about to catch you now. You know we're about to catch you.
I'm all around that. There's hardly any motorsports events in Nigeria that I don't know
I mean,
about.
it can't really be. It's not a very big pool.
Yeah.
And it can't be that many yet.
Right now is actually getting really big.
It's
getting really big.
Everybody knows something about motorsports, about modifying cars, about stunting with cars. They're going into it professionally and safely, and we advise people to.
For me, that's my own question, because I know we're going to wrap up really soon.
Yeah.
How safe is it? What are the safety measures being put in place to make sure that people are doing all of this properly? Is there a body, for instance? Are you guys being regulated by the government or by any kind of security or safety body, like a NAFDAC for, I don't know, I'm just saying, I know it's still relatively
Because
new.
Bima First was with Lagos State government.
Yes.
Yeah.
So in collaboration with Lagos State government. Okay, so the races we're doing in Edo State, we're doing it in a private racetrack. It's pretty much standard, the same standard for the kind of car racing that we do everywhere else you go in the world. Your cars have to be built to a certain level of safety specifications, reachable fire extinguishers, 4-point racing, seatbelt harness, battery kill switches, your helmet, fire-resistant racing suits, down to your underwear. They have to be fire-resistant in the case of a fire.
Wow.
The racetrack, we have safety marshals, we have 2 ambulances always on track whenever the track is going to be used. There's a hospital about 10 minutes away from the track. And so we're taking all of the safety considerations into. We're trying to be as professional. We already are as professional as possible, because our cars are built up to the world standard for the kind of racing that we do. So we don't just take any car and put them on the grid. Your car has to pass safety tests, has to pass safety milestones and all that before you can get on the track to race.
Also, adding to that, right? I know end of last year, there were lots of motorsports activities that went on, right? And sadly, someone actually passed from that.
One of the competitions?
It wasn't during their competition,
Yes.
so it was on his own volition. He just came out. It was Christmas Eve. In his car, he drives a really fast car, a BMW M3, and he just went.
He crashed it.
He crashed and he passed. But it was sad, really sad. But at the same time, it was good, because that kind of made the motorsports, would I say team or community come together. And there was kind of like a campaign on riding safe. So videos were released, and during his memorial, a lot of videos, flyers, and all that went out to all of that to talk about how you should drive safe, try to not get too excited, because a lot of people get excited about the boat. I mean, fast cars and drifting and all of that.
Sport.
Yes, it is.
That's why safety is our number one. The first thing you do when you're building your car, when you are racing, when you're thinking as a racer, when you're training a racer, is to teach and promote safety. Safety first before you try to win the races. Because I have a saying, there's a popular saying rather, before you, to win a race, to finish a race, to win a race, you have to finish first. So to finish first, you have to first finish. So we promote safe driving. You don't drive your performance cars, say roughly on the streets. You have to take care. Since the first time I got on a racetrack, I realized that any kind of driving I was doing on the streets that I thought was driving is zero.
Wow.
The first thing you need to know is you don't know how to drive.
Really?
When you drive on a racetrack, then you know how to drive. When you are one with the car, you know how to drive. You are flying into the corners. Now you are safe, because even if you have a rollover, that's if your car tumbles and all that, you have your roll cage to protect you and all that, so your car doesn't compress. So that's why the racetrack is the safest place for you to push your driving limits or push your car to its own limits.
Isn't there any worry about the heat though? Because this is Nigeria and it's hot.
Well, first of all,
when you're wearing all this fire retardant stuff,
I
with
mean,
the helmet,
your underwear is fire retardant. It's like.
Alright, first of all, if you really want to lounge, you can stay in the VIP lounge, stay under the AC,
and
watch
chill.
the race from
And it's
outside.
really chill.
There's no race car driver that's looking for comfort, at 160 km/h bends, and your vision is really not that
Restricted.
wide. All you're thinking about is don't let this guy pass me. I have to beat the guy in front of me. I have to increase my lap times and all that. So in that mode of adrenaline, you really don't feel all that heat and all that. Besides, from next year we're integrating drinking systems, and all that. Like I said. So while you're driving, you just push a button and you have a feed of water or hydration or whatever you want, going. You have some of that. So.
I'm so excited.
Okay, so now I want to ask, so what would you, we spoke about how motorsport is growing in Nigeria. So what would you have to say? Would you say the community is growing as one, or it's growing very competitively? Meaning, okay, this person is coming out with this drift show, this person is coming out with this drag race show. So would you say they're growing at themselves, or they're coming together to create something huge?
Well, one thing about motorsport is the types of motorsport events, the better.
Okay.
So, if somebody is doing drag races, another person is doing drifting competitions, one person is doing circuit-based car racing or bike racing, it all promotes the motorsport event. That just means that, I can race here, race there, race there. You know, if I'm a race junkie, that means that if I don't have money to go to another state for a racing event, there's probably one close to me in the southwest.
So they can't. They're not competing with each other.
They're not competing
They're
with
not
each other
really.
at all. You know, like I said, and most of us are, like I said, you know, I'm partnering with, I'm partnering. Like that's the way the enthusiasm comes in. So it's not really political. It's not tribalistic. It's not divided along any of those lines. It's about promoting motorsports. Do you like adrenaline? Do you like to drive fast? Do you like to stunt with your cars? And we all grow together. So it's a community. We all know each other. You know, we're planning.
My last question before we round up is, how does this, what we're doing here now, how does it work in the international community? Is there any way somehow you can win a competition here and use that to go and participate somewhere else?
Okay, yeah, that's the point where we can grow to, where our races get certified by the World Motorsports Certification Body, and you know, once we get to that point,
We haven't reached that point anywhere in Nigeria yet.
Because most of these things that we're still doing is still privately funded, you know, big brands and big companies are not really into it yet, because they really don't, most of the time they hardly don't see the potential. They don't know if you're serious. They don't know if you just want to take sponsorship money and disappear or go and marry a new wife. And you know, that's why they need to talk to the enthusiasts, not just people that want to do it for, you know, for money or for whatever.
So if it's big money that's going to transform this to that point. You need big money invested in.
Yes, if you know you're going to win $20,000 in the current road race.
Louis Hamilton is the woman, right?
All the hashtags will be there, all the media. That's why we need a lot of media participation. All the sports journalists, you know, most of the time they want to report Formula One and all that, and we have car racing in Nigeria. It's not like they don't know. Some of them know, but you know, I don't know. I guess sometimes you have to grease palms and all that, but we appreciate the ones that are...
It's a culture that will grow.
Exactly.
It's a culture that will grow.
Exactly. So
and it's the enthusiasts that will teach us and make us appreciate it.
Definitely.
And it's stuff like this, being on this kind of platform, that will get the word out even more.
Definitely.
And we'll start talking about it. So we really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us.
Yes, thank you.
I mean, because...
And I really appreciate it.
And I'm very serious. I would like to be... I will talk about it.
You shook on it.
I'm saying if you're open to it, I would love to compete.
If you know how to drive manual.
I know how to drive manual. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I love adventure, and
well, you know, you don't ask me about the heat question, though.
No,
you did.
I grew up in Yaba.
Wearing the helmet and all that, you know.
See, let us swear. I will like that.
But trust me, you know, at the end of the race, you're going to be feeling. There's no
I went skydiving a couple of months ago.
Wow.
I understand the feeling when you're done with that kind of experience. So you're not talking about that yet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you, Rob. Make sure you check them out on social media.
Yeah, fastlanemotorsports.ng and our website, fastlanemotorsports.ng as well.
Fastlane Motorsports. The conversation continues. Go on social media. That's Silverbird TV. #today on STV. We will be right back after the break.
Gentlemen, report your current location and predicament.
Man, I'm just trying to jump in the pool real quick, my G.
I trust you. Always up to something.